Hello, 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 everyone. Mm-mm. Cold for this hot cup of coffee is so good. I'm waiting for some people to come in. Hello. Yes, some wonderful videos today. You like those? Can you tell I was a bit bored? I'm probably everyone's gonna quit being a subscriber because I put out too much stuff. No, you don't think I put out too much stuff? I sometimes think I do. I just get bored and I sit here, I'm crocheting. It's like, all right, now what? So, I thought, oh well, I could go do this. I got bored and I said, you know what? I heard a song. I heard a song and I thought, that's a video right there of me dancing. Well, we get people coming in. Hello, everyone that's coming in. I'm sure you're probably some of you are lurkers, or what some people would say, hiding in the bushes. I wonder where we heard that from. But we love our lurkers or our bush, bush watchers. Is that what I want to say? Bush watchers. It's all good, guys. It's all good. And besides, usually I know who some of the watchers are. Mm-mm-mm. People in the bush. But I found that more offensive than lurkers. I only brought it up because, you know, hey, chromosome carnivore. Well, we got people that are coming in. I'll give about another minute and then I'll start discussing a, a topic that I think is important. Hello, Sam. Hello, hello. Ignore that. I got to figure out how to cut that off. Yeah, I'm a wild woman, all right. I'm wild. I actually got all dressed up for that video. I pulled out a dress from my closet just to make that short and then took it back off. My daughter said, are you crazy right now? I said, nope, just in a bored mood. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start. Maybe people will come in and, hi, Mason. We got Jenny and Mason and Cindy, Chromosome Carnivore. So welcome, welcome, all of you. I got my box of goodies today. Such fun. I told my husband that I'm planning on making him a scarf for his birthday. He says, thanks for sending blue yarn instead of pink, Chris. That's something that's bad for him. Well, there you go. I'm glad you liked it. You got yours too today, Nikki? Good. Good, good, good. Well, you mentioned once about wanting to try ice yarn, so I figured I'd send you some. Don't you love how my phone? Oh yeah, that got stolen. What got stolen? That got stolen. That ice yarn. I got my little notes here. I got to touch the ice yarns. It's not my deal. It's not my deal. But since you were interested, I figured I'd send some out. I'm gonna guess your daughter, your cat, your cat, your cat took it. Your daughter took it. I would say your daughter took it. Yeah. Amazing videos you posted today. Wow, proud of you. Aw, thank you. I was kind of having fun with them. Yeah. So tonight's little topic that I'm going to talk about is whys. Your why. Why are you doing this? Think about your whys, write them down, and keep them in a safe place. Your whys, um, because the BBBE path, bacon, beef, butter, eggs path is not just about it's not just about food. It's about freedom, and that's why we're doing this. The why, the whys, the whys, the whys, and it's the whys that's going to get you to your freedom. If you really mean them, if you take it serious. Um, you can answer that one else. um, yeah, I do sometimes if I feel like it. Sometimes I just like freebasing it because I like to keep things real and not edit out all the boo boos and all the weirdness. I'm really about keeping it real, not keeping it perfect. So yeah, sometimes I do edit out something if I stutter a lot. Go ah. Aw, thank you. So I made a list of some of my whys, and I added some in it and took some out. But I'm going to read you some of my whys, and I bet you all will probably be thinking to yourself, "Wow, that's one of my wows." Yeah, that's one of my wows. So as I read these, if it's one of your wows, throw in a heart or something to just say, yeah, that's one of my whys. Because you guys all need to know that whys are really important. Why you're doing this. When it pulls on your heartstrings, a why, then that's really important. And some of my whys, like today, some of my whys I started to cry about because they're really, really super important to me. Really important to me. And I hope that you guys have those same kind of whys where they tug on your heartstrings and you might break down crying, or it could be that I'm just um, you know, need my more of my anxiety medicine. There's always that too, I suppose. But I don't know. The whys are important when you're doing this. This is life changing, and you have to really have some very strong, strong whys. So I'm going to just go ahead and talk about the whys that I have down here to me. Now, some of them might be yours too, and that's okay. You can claim them. I'm all right with that. But it's a long list of whys, and if I thought about it, I could add a lot more. All right. So under health and healing, I put break free from metabolic disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. I'm pre-diabetic. I'm right there on the borderline. One more number over, and I would be on insulin. So I have to be careful with my sugar. So yeah, health and healing is one of my whys. Reduce inflammation, joint pain, autoimmune struggles. I have gout. I have joint pain. My knees hurt. My ankles hurt. They're getting better since I've been on the carnivore diet. Um, Inflammation, like you wouldn't believe. Depending on my foods, I can get a flare up of inflammation. I have to be very careful in figuring out my food. So, inflammation, swelling in my feet, swelling in my legs, swelling in my hands. I can tell when inflammation hits just by how snug my rings are. There's times I can't take off my rings, and then I know, all right, I'm dealing with inflammation. So that's one of my whys. And reclaim energy and not feel exhausted every day. There was a time when every day I would, I still fight with it. I still battle, but tired all the time. And since I've been doing this, I've gotten a little bit more sleep. So that why is happening. I'm getting more energy. So that's one of the reasons why I did this. I didn't want to walk around through life as being a zombie. Under food freedom from food addiction. I am one of those people that can sit here with a family size bag of chips, and while I'm watching TV or playing my games or crocheting, I'm sitting here constantly eating. I'm addicted to potato chips. Or I love my breads. I love my breads. I also have I'm not sure, I've never been diagnosed with it, but binge eating. Like when you're under a lot of stress, you go out and buy a dozen Dunkin' Donuts and just because you're worked up. And so I tend to binge eat sometimes. There's times when I've ate so much I've thrown up. I'm addicted to food. I'm a food addict. Um, so that's one of my whys is to accept that and get through it. Learn to eat without obsession, guilt, or binging. That's underneath there. Find peace around food instead of being controlled by it. There's still a bag of chips on the counter in the kitchen. And today I actually moved it and put it over into the bread box. So every time I walked out to the kitchen, I was not called. So I'm still, struggling. So that's still one of my whys. You know, I don't want the food to control my life. Food is supposed to be for refueling, not be calling you out at night to say, hey, come get me a whole bag of chips, come get me. So, yeah, that's one of my whys. I don't want to be controlled by food. I just want to fuel my body and be healthy. Weight loss and body transformation. Shed pounds that have been holding you back for years. I've been big all my life. I'm 65 years old. I want to shed some pounds. Is it one of my top priorities of my whys? It's not my top priority, but it is a why. Um, See and feel real results by simplifying your food. Do I want to spend years ago I used to spend all my time in the kitchen. I'd make my own breads, I made the kids their cookies, I made jellies and jams and canned foods and everything. And it was difficult. I was always surrounded by food. And now that I'm 65 and I'm doing this journey, for like the first time, it's like it's simple. I can go out and just cook a hamburger and maybe an egg. It's just super, super simple. And that's one of my whys is to simplify my food. I'm not into the whole gotta have caviar and fancy crackers with fancy little things. No, blah, blah. Um, and another thing, prove to myself that I can do it. That bag of chips, yeah, every time I see it, um, I think about just one. No, no, no. And I'm winning that battle, so it makes me feel good. That's another reason for doing this. Hey, I can leave it alone. As long as I leave it alone, I'm good. I wish they would take it downstairs to their own place, not leave it on the kitchen, but I'm proving to myself that I can take care of that. So that's why I'm proving to myself that I can avoid that food even if I'm in that situation. Clarity and mental strength. Since I've been doing this since day one of my things was I just want to be able to think clearer. I forget all the time. I'll put a pen down and then I don't know where I put it and I grab another pen. Before you know it, I have like 20 pens on my desk. I'm like, why are all these pens out? I got to put them all back. I'm not doing that anymore. I think I have one pen out. Yeah, right here. I had just one pen on my desk. Yeah. And same thing with my glasses. I have glasses everywhere. So mental clarity. I want to get my mind straight. Um, Strip down to the basics. No food noise. No guessing. There's nothing in my head anymore that's always thinking about food. What can I have? What can I snack on? What can I get my hands into? You know, that bread that's sitting out. There's no more of that going on in my head. Finally, my mind is clear from all that. Um, so yeah, there's no guessing when you're cooking the food. So that's one of my whys. Um, Sharpen my brain and body by fueling clean. Um, yeah, that's one of my whys for doing carnivore. Um, Getting rid of everything that's dirty. No more carb burning. I mean, I'll still have some carb burning because that's what our liver does. We got all that liver carbs, um, but yeah, gain focus, peace, strength beyond weight loss. That's always good. Lifestyle longevity. Be present and active with kids, grandkids, or loved ones. Being able to do things with them. You know how many um, Christmas plays and stuff like that I've missed? How many concerts that my grandkids have been in that I've missed? My whys, they're my whys. All of that is my whys. Um, yeah, to be able to, you know, avoid the doctors as long as I can and for them not to keep giving me medication because I need it or they think I need it. Just not going to the doctors and have my medical expenses keep going up and up and up by the thousands, you know. And we're getting down there, guys. Add more quality years to life, not just more years, but quality. I can add more years to my life and just sit in this chair and probably not get hit by a bus, but I would be accepting death sitting here in this chair. Or, or I could, you know, have more years, but be more quality years and not just quality years. And that's one of my whys. I don't want to be locked up in this room 24/7 like I have been for the last few years. Can you imagine? That's a prison sentence, guys. That's a prison sentence. And then community and accountability wise. Doing it together makes it easier. That's why I have all of you guys with me because together we're stronger. It's easier to do this when other people are doing it with you. Sharing weigh-ins, struggles, victories builds bonds. Knowing someone else understands your why and helps you keep on track. So if we know each other's whys and people are feeling like it's hard getting through this craving, we can say, hey, remember your whys. And basically, that's what it comes down to. Your whys are your anchors. Your why is what keeps you going on a straight path to reaching the end goal, and that's freedom. And yeah, you're gonna have times when you have scales. You gotta have stalls, and we just gotta remember our why. There's gotta be times when you get stressed out, like my thunderstorm a couple of weeks back, and I got stressed out and ate all that ham. I gotta remember the whys. Why am I? Why? It's so important, you know. And that's pretty much what I have to say about whys. Whys are so important doing this. If you don't have a strong why, if you're just doing it because the next door neighbor or some guy wants you to that you hate, you're not going to stick to it. You have to have a really good why. Why are you doing this? Is it to become healthy? Great. Is that important in your life? I bet you it is. Mine has to do with my grandchildren, I think, in the mobility, which my mobility means that, I don't have to count on other people to help me, So that's my wise guy. Weight loss doesn't make my list at all this month. sometimes choosing does not drink alcohol or sugar and not puke after solid food is the best I got. Yep, weight loss used to be my top. Yeah, weight loss isn't my top at all. There's other things that beat my top. Weight loss is more like it's it's like what's that word I want to use? It's like it's just a number, and it lets me know, like I know I'm gonna be able to wipe my butt when I get under 300 pounds, and so that's why it's like I'm getting closer to being under 300 pounds so I can wipe my butt. So I don't know what you would call that. It's like my base point. This is where I am, and this is where I need to be. So, it, am I going to let it ruin my day if I don't get there? No, it's not going to ruin my day because I've accepted a long time ago that as long as I'm, you know, doing this, I understand about information. I understand that your weight goes up and down anyways. That up and down weight doesn't bother, you know. So it's not about weight loss as it is about feeling good and healthy and in my case being able to wipe my butt and drive my car and I know that when I hit 303 pounds in the hospital when I had my stroke, the bed said I was 303 pounds. It was just probably a week after that where I couldn't wipe my butt anymore. And it was just about a year after that before I was having a hard time driving. So, if anything, that number just defines where I was in life or where I want to be in my life going forward. The end number, do I want to be 150, 200? No, I want to get to a point where I was when I was XYZ number, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I want to feel good. I don't want to be in pain. I will get a photo posted in a bit. Found a keeping it real t-shirt on the way home, Bigfoot fishing. Aw, yeah. All right, let me see what everyone is saying. The, what do you guys think about my list? Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to ask. That's all right. Well, I don't gout. You do. Hello, John. John says hello to everyone. Welcome, John. Hello. Me too. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, me too. Hello. Hi, John. I'm just making sure I got everything. Weight loss used to be my top priority. Yeah, it used to be mine 2 years ago. It's not anymore. Um, Black yak caviar. I know, right? My husband's all into that caviar crap. No moderation. Me too. Missed a lot. Uh, Nikki, is no one hugging tonight? Uh, I have many that you do. Okay. Hi, Grandma and everyone. Hi, Pania. I'm pretty sure that I added this list on Discord under the BBE team Freedom Team section of our Discord. You'll see some of these things that I do research on and do all this and print them out and stuff. I've been adding this paperwork on in Discord. So if you guys want a copy of this to look at or circle or see if you how many of them you have, you can find these on Discord, okay? So here we go. Now I have a problem wiping my butt also. Also trying my own shoes and getting behind the wheel of a truck. I have no problems with those things anymore, and it is so freeing. Yes, it is freeing. I can't wait until I can do all those things. But I know I have like, it's like I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. Well, I'm glad you could make it, Feral Grandma. Scarlett. Hello, Scarlett. I don't think I've seen you here before, Scarlett, so welcome. We were just talking about our wives being on like the carnivore and keto diet or way of living or lifestyle, and where you want and your whys. Whys are very important, and that's what we're talking about. Why are you on this journey? Why are you considering, whether it's for weight loss or health or whatever your whys are? They're very, very important, and you need to hold on to them and remember them. Even write them down. That's why I wrote down, so I have a clear list of my whys. Some of them could have been a little bit more direct. Scarlett, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Oh, talking about her name. How are you? I'm good, Scarlett. How are you? Good, I hope. The dog still doesn't want to eat swimmy things, but I put some butter on my plate, so he still shared my dinner. There you go. My baby loves butter. Oh my God, she'll go nuts if I put butter on things. I should have put butter on her chicken. Should eat it. Sometimes I'll put melted butter on her chicken, and she'll eat it. Jen, you don't give a damn what? I'm good. Okay, you're kidding. Never mind. Ha! I got it as soon as I saw what you said. I got it. Bogart. So does anyone want to share any of their whys? I'm fighting my red sweater, please. You're always fighting that red sweater. I can't wait till that red sweater is done. Got it. Got it. I got it. So how are you, John? I thought you were reading my list. Ah, I see. I didn't want to say the real word. What are we talking again? Sorry, I'm so lost. Well, we are talking about the whys that someone would go on a carnivore or keto journey to lose weight, to become healthy. What are your whys? Some people, it's not about losing weight; it's about being healthy. Some people, it's because they don't want to be prisoned in a room in a chair. Some people's whys might be to be able to wipe your butt because you haven't been able to wipe your butt for 5 years. After you go poo, to lose weight, to be able to be more mobile, to be able to drive. Some people can't drive because their weight is too high. So they want to be able to drive again. And so one, the suicidal thoughts were terrible, and now they are not as strong. Oh wow, that's a big a big one. Yeah, mental health. Oh, I'm on a low carb diet. Okay. So why are you on a low carb diet? What's your why? What is your um what keeps you going on that low carb diet? What's your why? Some people it's for medical reasons. They're diabetics. So everybody's different, and everybody has their own strong ones. I could so relate. I had my demise all planned out. There was times that I too, I was going to jump off a bridge. My daughter happened to tell me, "Oh, mom, that wouldn't have killed you if you jumped off the bridge." I've jumped on that bridge, and all it does is you just swim back to the. They used to use it to jump off years ago. This certain spot that I thought I was going to jump to my death. No, it wouldn't have. I told my daughter, yeah, when I was really young, I plotted jumping off this particular spot. And she goes, oh, yeah, during the summer, me and a bunch of my friends, we all jumped off that bridge. That you wouldn't have died. I want to go out more and fit into cuter clothing. Yeah, that's similar to mine. Mine is to get out more, not to be imprisoned in this chair for the rest of my life. Yeah, and it would be nice to have better, nicer clothes. Everything for a big person is like a balloon. But then again, I buy them big so they don't cling to me. Scarlett, is it doing you some good? Most of us start seeing more improvements than we were hoping for. Oh, very nice. There you go. That's a start. Down 2 sizes in 3 months. Very good. That's very awesome. It's weird that someone just brought up suicide because my grandchildren's school, it's a Catholic school. One of their friends over the weekend killed themselves, suicide. And their funeral service is going to be next Friday. So it's been a very downer in this house and in my daughter's house with one of their friends committing suicide. She was 14. She got a hold of a gun and shot herself in the head. So mental illness is very much real. People, or even children, teenagers, it's so sad that it happens. So suicidal tendencies is real, people. I was going to jump after meat stock, but I can't do that to my people. It was 100 days ago, and we cried so hard that day. We we clear now. I really mean I or my 27 different personalities, which are fading. Yeah, I have tried. I think we've all. I know I've tried so many different times. I've tried jumping out of a 4-story high window when I was about 18. I got drunk to do it, and I was just going to jump out the fourth floor window. And The thing is I had a bunch of friends and I was very open about what I was going to do and determined that they actually had to tie me up to keep me from doing it. So, but I was loaded ass drunk. Some of it I don't even remember. I was told the next day. But yeah, they had to keep me down until I got sober and promised that I wouldn't hurt myself. So, and it was because of being big. I was tired of being big. I was tired of being the biggest person in the room. Or it just bad things. It just seemed like I attracted bad things. So everybody, it's real. When people say they're considering it, it's the real deal. You got to take it serious. It just goes to show how much pain there is with how we were living or how we are living. It's deep. It goes very deep. So I'm really sorry that you know anyone that's dealing with any of that. Casey's dad it said it for 15 years he was going to do it and then did it. So don't ignore it if they say it and don't do it. Yeah, because it's real. They're, them saying that they're thinking about doing it, it's like a symptom that it's like they're giving you a heads up. They're thinking about it. And one of these days, it's just something's going to happen and it happens. So you got to take it serious. They're trying to reach out by chromosome carnivore saying that, you know, she's trying to reach out, you know, this is, I bet you guys cried. It really feels a win when you go down a size in socks, shoes, underwear. No change in my bra yet. Yeah, yeah. The pain is real. The pain is real. But, but, one thing I do know, like how your life is, you can change it because I've done it. You can totally, totally just say, that's it, I'm done, and move on. You can do it and become happier because I've done it. There was a time in my life where I just wanted to die. I couldn't take it anymore. I was in an abusive situation and I just wanted to die. And I prayed on it and prayed on it and prayed on it. And I'm not a very religious person. And I prayed on it and prayed on it and prayed on it. And something fell into my lap that got me to move. And that was an opportunity to move and a job and a place to live all at the same time. And I took it and I started my whole life right fresh start. Me and my two daughters did a complete fresh start. And that started the journey of me healing and getting better and finding my husband that I have now and getting better. And since then, since I met my husband and been going forward, since I moved and changed my life completely, even moved to a totally different part of the state, hundreds of miles away, I totally changed my life and there you have it. Yes, God intervened and uprooted me. I left everything in that house. I'm a co owner still of that house. I could care less about it. It doesn't matter to me. And I moved. I got a job working at a hospital. I got my own place. And that was the beginning of the rest of my life. And I've been happy ever since. So, yes, you can be in a situation where you're depressed, suicidal, making your plans to kill yourself. I even was going to counseling at the time too, and said if it weren't for my children at this very moment, if all my children were out of the house, I know I would succeed in killing myself. That's what I was constantly telling my counselor at the time. And so that's the only reason why I held on. Otherwise, I'd be dead. Isolating issues. Yeah. You. What do you mean by you think you have isolating issues? That you're alone? Is that what you mean? You're by yourself, or I'm not sure exactly. It feels a win when you go down on the side. It does. That is a win. That's a victory. That's not just a win, it's a victory when you go down a size. And I'm also all about claiming every single one of your victories, no matter how minor. When I was able to put on my socks, I turned that minor victory that some people would say, oh, you should be able to put on your socks. 2 year olds can put on their socks. I couldn't put on my own socks. And this past week, I've been able to put on my own socks. So kudos. It's a major victory for me. So yes, anytime you go down sizes, it's a victory. Yes, yes. And I'm still wanting to live. There's living, and then there's living a life. I was living, breathing, but stuck in this chair. And I couldn't move. I was in too much pain. I wanted more than just to live. I wanted a life. You see what I'm saying, Mason? There's a difference there. Yes. Everybody, I wanted to live. I was living, but I wanted a life, regardless of who lives with you or not. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to do it. 2 months ago, I wouldn't be going outside every morning. I would be locked up in this room. Now, every single morning, the first thing I do when I get up is to get dressed and I go outside because I'm living a life. I'm going outside and I'm walking every single day because I want more than just to live. I want a life. You see, there's a difference. You got to fight for it. Well, I'm so glad you're here today, and I'm glad that you can talk to us. Yeah, Jordan P. Peterson has a wonderful quote. Oh, I wonder if she's going to find that quote. There's a quote I say all the time, and I tell it to my kids all the time. I've said it here before. No matter what situation you're in, no matter what it is, if you stop and just think this one phrase, and you guys have heard it a million times, and the phrase is, or the quote is, and I don't know who it says it, is, and this too will pass. So no matter what you're going through in life, in that moment, you need to tell yourself, this too will pass because it will. You know, it will. Might not happen immediately, but it will pass. Every situation that I've ever been in and that might have stressed me out or got me upset, if I just tell myself, and this too will pass, it calms me down and helps me think clearly and I get beyond it. So I've always used that. And years ago, I used to tell my kids, when I die, make sure you put that on my gravestone. And this too, dot, 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 dot. And this too will pass. I wanted it on my gravestone. Now I don't want a gravestone. I don't want a place where people will come to me, come to the place where my body is to mourn. I want to be everywhere. It doesn't matter. I don't want you just to come once a year to lay flowers on a ground. I don't want that. I want to be everywhere. You can mourn for me anywhere. Think of me, you know, anywhere, not just at a gravesite. So my ashes are going to be blown into the wind out there at the ocean. It's already been talked about, planned. The money's even there to do it. Isn't that awful that you've already planned your death? You've already prepared. You've already told your wishes to everybody, every single one of my kids. Uh, you just got to do. You got to take care of things, guys. So, does anyone else have a victory they want to share? I love victories. I love victories. Someone's got victories. Let's see. Scarlett went down 2 sizes in her clothing. That's great. Grandma talked about her victories are going down sizes in socks and shoes and underwear. Victories, victories. I finally went and saw my dad. There you go. Jordan Peterson's advice on change centers on taking personal responsibility, embracing challenging goals, and constantly making small positive improvements in your life. Yes, I I have told every single one of my children, whenever there's a negative, don't dwell on the negative, look for the positive. Don't dwell on the negative. Look at no matter what situation there is, guys, there's always a positive somewhere. You know, horrible as this is going to sound, and I don't mean to put it out there, but because I've already brought up a very, very bad situation, a young girl, 14-year-old girl, passed away. She shot herself. What could possibly be a positive in that? There is no positive in someone that dies, but what it does do is all those children that knew that girl and all the school teachers and everything, all the people that's in her life and beyond are now aware of suicide and how important it is to to help the, to help our children. So she's influenced a lot of people, you know, that I know it's sad, it is sad, but that's the positive. A lot of people, if you look at the positive, that would be the positive. And there is no positive in death, but if you had to find one, that's one. It's an eye opener. My victories are too numerous to list. I just in this just in these 2 months time. That's exactly 100% what I want to think, just like you. I have to say it out loud sometime or even type it and write it. I still think about my plan though, and I hate it though. This thinking about those negative things, I used to think negative things about how I was going to kill my ex-husband, how I was going to murder him, how I was going to get rid of the body. I planned it all out. He was so abusive. The only way I was going to survive this is if I killed him and hid his body. Would anyone take notice? And I thought it all out. You know where I was going to stuff his body? I was going to stuff his body in the septic tank. I was going to dig up the septic tank, stick his body through that hole, and bury him. Bury him where he should have gone at the time in the stink pot. But, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that I moved and changed my life because that's probably what could have happened without meaning for it to happen. My victory today was I was able to walk 2.5 miles. There you go. Dr. Berry says if you can fog a mirror, you can change your life. That's right. I know I've done it twice now. Done it twice. Hello, Cindy. Hello, hello, hello. Cindy, if you type in the chat fire hydrant, would you place fire hydrant in the chat for me? All one word, please. Fire hydrant, all one word. No space. Fire hydrant. If you would, Cindy. No, all one word. Mix that fire hydrant together. Take away that space. Separated it. Oh, you're on your phone? Aw. I hate it when phones do that. There you go. Ah. I love telling people that don't realize what fire hydrant is. Yeah, so when you come in, just go ahead and slap in fire hydrant. All one word. Walk with no shirt and shorts. And then shorts. Uh, Today's topic, Cindy, since you missed it, is the whys. What are our whys when we're on the carnivore or ketovore way of living? What are the whys that keep us on that straight and narrow path? Well, it might be. It's not really straight and it's not really narrow, but Cindy, the man teacher, grandma's crochet live, carnivore live. Yes. Someone once said you might want to consider changing your name to what was it, Crochetavore or something? Well, something like that. Crochetavore? Crochetavore Grammy? My whys are my health and two, being here for my husband. Yeah, yeah. You got your whys in order. That's what keeps us going. John, my neighborhood wouldn't be very understanding if I was wandering around with no shirt. Uh, I don't think my neighborhood wouldn't like it either. From carnivore or crocheting grandma to what was it? Crochetavore or something? I can't remember what someone suggested one night, but I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't write it down, so I can't remember what it was. But I didn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I am what I am. I went to your channel. I'll check it out. You'll find that Cindy does a lot of interviewing people um, that are on the keto or carnivore journey, and et cetera, et cetera. But I'll keep in mind if I'm ever so tired of dishes and laundry that a 24-hour psych hold sounds nice. Uh, that's a good idea. I wonder if I can get away with doing something like that. Hey, I'm always, telling myself I'm crazy. My kids, my daughter today, I got all dressed up today. I had this plan. I'm going to get all dressed up in one of my beautiful dresses, although it's not really that beautiful to me right now, but it was. It was a dress that I got to go to Vegas in and have, I think it was a 20th anniversary dinner. And so I got all dressed up in it. And I went outside with my camera. I put my camera down and I just started dancing in circles and wiggling my butt. And then I made a short of it and sent it off to the shorts on YouTube. My daughter's like, "Mom, I can't believe you're doing that. You're so crazy. You need to stop. You need to stop doing that stuff, Mom." And I said, "Why? I can't believe you're embarrassing me." Hey, girl, I'm going to do it my way. It's my life. I'm going to do it. I don't care what other people think. I'm going to do my life my way. Freedom in that. And that's why I did it. I was in one of those weird, crazy moods today of freedom, freedom in everything, all inhibitions. Nothing mattered. And my daughter is going crazy. She's on vacation. And I think I'm driving her crazy. Mom, will you stop? Go in your chair and sit and be quiet. It's like, no. So sometimes you just got to have a fun time, even if other people think you're crazy. If you're enjoying your life, you might end up being in a 72-hour hold somewhere. Have you made your set? No, I'm going to have leftovers from my first meal. My first meal was my birthday steak that my daughter bought me with a hamburg patty and some fried eggs. And I have a hamburg patty left and half of the steak. And after I get off here, that's going to be my second meal for the day. All beef. I know, right? They're both of them. I can't believe you're wearing that shirt in public because I wore it when I went to go yarn shopping with her. Mom, you're embarrassing me. And it's really I do stuff like that because you know how many times she's embarrassed me, even as she's an adult. Like she'll go in to Walmart and she'll start pretending like she can't speak English and she just talks gibberish, you know. Thank you, Nikki. So you gotta have a good time. But she'll embarrass us by just doing weird, or she'll walk with like she's got a limp or something through the whole store, or she'll, just it's like Jenny, just stop. Just, yeah, got so yeah, I'm gonna act up and I'm feeling good. I'm gonna get all dressed up and I'm gonna dance along. And she's like, "Oh God, my mom's losing it. She's losing it." She gets on. She gets on the phone to my other daughter. I think mom's losing it. Might have to think about putting her in a nursing home. And I'm like, I'm just, and I hear those types of things and I just smile because, hey, I'm just having fun, guys. I'm just having fun. And she did catch the prank. I showed it to her. I took it off. Well, guys, it's been an hour. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to come back in another hour, though, for our regular nightly live. So, everyone, think about your whys, write them down, keep them close by. Pin it to the refrigerator. No, pin it on a wall, or stick it on your refrigerator, someplace where you'll see it every time you go into the refrigerator. You'll see your whys, and yeah, have a. We're coming back in an hour. I gotta go and let the dogs out. I gotta heat up my dinner. Um, make some more coffee, go potty, and then I'll be back. So give me an hour and I'll be back. So, and on that note, guys, I'm going to say good night, everyone. Thank you for coming to our monthly live. Remember the Freedom Team. Let's go, go, go. BBBE all the way. And I'll see you guys, some of you anyway, in an hour at 10 o'clock. All right, so bye bye. 3, 2, 1. I'm hitting the button.